Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans to BAMMA 10. We come to you live from Wembley Arena here in London, England. Get ready for fireworks. We bring for your entertainment now a catchweight contest, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds of MMA. The third man in the ring is our match official, introducing our referee, Mr. Mark Woodard. And upon the sound of the bell, here are our 2 warriors going head to head. Firstly, this evening fighting out of the red corner and representing Team Tsunami. He's on the scales with his official weight of 160.5 pounds. He brings to the ring a fight record consisting of 11 victories, 8 of which have finished inside the scheduled distance. Ladies and gentlemen, from Cambridge, England, introducing Tommy Two Guns Maguire. And across the ring stands his opponent. This evening on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, his official weight for this contest, 159 pounds exactly. He represents Trojan Free Fighters. He brings to the ring a record of 13 victories, of which 9 have finished inside the scheduled distance. Ladies and gentlemen, from Lithuania, would you please welcome Antanas Jazbutis. This is a catchweight contest scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds of MMA.
Right, so we're ready for Tommy Maguire. 2 Guns versus Antanas Jazbutis. 2 good camps, 2 good fighters. And I agree with you, Pierre. I think, as we see Jazbutis, very good kicker, very mobile. I think Tommy will trade for a while and then really want to take him down.
Saying that, he goes right in for the double unders, which he connects with, looking for a possible single.
And it makes sense, as we were saying before, Tommy's gaining in experience, he's gaining in wins, and part of that is risk assessment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and he's assessed that Jazbutis may control the stand-up with the range as far as the leg kicks, so why try to fight through that? The smart thing is, run him up against the cage and take him down to the mat. Now, Jazbutis, if you see, he's put the hand on the back of the head. Really clever move, because what that does is that stops that forward momentum. And he's trying to get back, posting up to get back to the feet, where he's going to be the better fighter.
And again, very calm, trying not to expend energy. But we are talking about a 30-fight veteran. Very experienced man.
He's not going to be put in any position that he hasn't seen or been in before, so nothing is going to be new to him, and he's going to be calm about getting up off the mat because he's done it probably hundreds of times.
Yes, and as we saw there, Jazbutis gets back to his feet very calmly, and Tommy will have to work again for position. Jazbutis turns his man, now has Tommy with his back against the cage, putting short little knees into his inside thigh. And managing to keep it upright, but not really working as well. A nice reversal there, Pierre, from Antanas.
Well, again, you have Matt Ewan. You've got all the other guys that he trains with who are seasoned wrestlers. They're going to have drilled this, and Tommy in previous fights has worked that takedown, so he's going to have seen the fight footage, and he's going to adapt it his style to help either defend or create offensive postures for himself.
What it's meant, though, as I said, with this experience and so much at stake now as your career gets further along and you get more wins, is it's a bit of a stalemate when you're looking for an audience.
You hit that one right on the button, Malk.
I mean, Mark Woodard's looking closely, and I think he's seen enough, and I think the call is perfectly timed.
And that's what mixed martial arts fans have come to enjoy and expect. They expect action. Referee, again, very good call. Lack of action, let's get it started back in the center of the cage.
And this is where Jazbutis is good, and this is where we've seen him many times. Snappy hands, good head movement, good kicks, fast hands there, but actually it was Maguire landed the cleanest.
Now, Tommy's got very good hands. He catches that straight left all the time. He goes to the well, and he scores on the button. He's doing a couple little feint moves there. Got the hands to drop by Jazbutis. That's going to be a dangerous thing to do.
The other thing Jazbutis was doing dangerously, which he's corrected, he was going the wrong way with the southpaw. He was going into the dangerous left hand. He's now realised the experienced fighter that he is, and now working outside of the right.
And a little bit of dirty boxing there, a la Randy Couture, cup in the back of the head with the uppercut straight up the pipe.
And we're back to where we were previously. Jazbutis again, just working the insides of the legs of Maguire with those knees.
Funny thing to mention, Maguire has actually fought Lee Wazorek, where he went 1-1, Lee, on the second half of the show. And look at this, he's really trying to catch that guillotine.
And he's just popped free, because from that standing position, it is difficult, isn't it, for him?
Yeah, because in order to connect with that guillotine, he'd have had to have Jazbutis on the tips of his toes, and with Jazbutis really going heavy into the cage, his base didn't allow that to happen. Smart move by Tommy, giving up on a move that, you know, is going to waste energy and not provide the possible submission.
Now, these tactics from Antanas Jazbutis, that looked like a groin shot, but you heard Tommy Maguire there. That was clear. I was just about to say tactics, but if you want to slow a man down, I've got to be honest, that is a good tactic to hit him straight into the groin.
But unfortunately, it's not within the rules here or any other organization. He'll get a mandatory, I believe it's a 5-minute rest period. It probably will not take that long. Tommy ready to get back into the action, already up on his feet.
Yes, Mark Woodard, our referee, having strong words with Antanas Jazbutis. It was quite blatant. I'm not saying it was definitely meant, but it was an obvious low blow. Tommy making too much fuss about it. But Antanas looks to his corner, and surely this is where he'll want to be, centre cage.
Now, how important is that jab to set everything off that jab?
Oh, that left hand of Tommy's just sneaked to the jaw of Antanas. And do you know what? Antanas is finding it difficult. We've seen him before come in so fast like that and score. Tommy is very good taking a step back and letting the hands go on the counter.
Now he went for a single leg chest push takedown. It switched over to a single leg. Now that's his forte, the single leg takedown. He catches that a lot in training, and it's showing dividends here tonight. Jazbutis for the first time this evening, I believe, finding himself on his back.
But he's not going to have enough time to do anything with it here, which is going to come to the end for me of a very difficult round for both men, and difficult as well in terms of scoring.
Well, they'll probably get an earful from their corners saying, hey, you need to create situations to score. Don't be content to jog with your opponent. You got to be willing to sprint even if they want to jog. Because it's the easy way out is just to way up onto your opponent, kind of take it easy, waiting to, you know, pop maybe in the second and the third.
I think just at the end there, though, we saw hints from Tommy that he's finally looking to set up those single legs, matching Antanas for punches, getting his attention, then going downstairs. It's a good tactic. Antanas, I think, has been just thrown a little bit because we've seen him, as I said, a number of times. And when he comes in with those fast hands and legs, he normally has success. But he's been countered well tonight.
He has. Tommy's been quick off the back foot, and as he back steps, coming right back in with shots of his own. So he's actually, Antanas is kind of walking onto Tommy's shots. And that's a very, very common thing in boxing. Take the back step, let him walk onto your punches.
Well, it is that southpaw left hand he's got to watch for, because it grazed Antanas' chin in the first round. So the problem for Antanas is Tommy's comfortable in his boxing range as well. I know he's got an agenda for why he stood there, but while he is stood there, he's as good as his opponent.
Both guys trading punches as well as kicks.
That was a beautiful body shot. You took it out to the rib cage there, right hand. And the first high point kick from Antanas that we know he does so well. He's got very fluid legs, very good high kicks, and that's the first one we've seen tonight from him.
Now what he's doing that I don't particularly care for is he's throwing some shots, and sometimes he's looking down at the mat. If you're looking at the mat, you don't see the punches that are coming from your opponent, and that's a dangerous thing to do with one Tommy, two guns Maguire.
Well, what has been coming from two guns is the variety. He's started to switch to the body as well. and it's been very successful. And that's why at the moment there's been no attempts by him for the takedown, because those body shots have landed clean.
Now, you don't really see a lot of body shots in mixed martial arts, but as the sport is growing, you're finding guys that are training a lot more in boxing, and they're able to skillfully mix it up.
I think the one problem for boxers, and it's the biggest wake-up call when they come to MMA, is you just can't let your punches go so freely, because there's so many other tools of the trade. When a boxer comes and just throws punches like this in MMA, there's things that happen to them that they've never experienced before. So they don't tend to take as many risks as they would in boxing. So you don't see the variety like you would in a straight boxing match, because their opponent has so many more ways to negate that.
Well, when you throw punches in bunches, we're talking 2s and 3s. Anything more than that, you're setting yourself up to walk onto maybe a takedown or a kick. And again, in boxing, you have neither of those.
No, you don't have those worries. But Tommy moving away nicely. Antanas, this is how we're used to seeing them. But again, slips it down, feints for the head, brings it to the body with that right hand. And you can see the red marking on the ribcage there of Antanas, where Tommy has been so accurate with that. You just wonder now with that accuracy, missed with that roundhouse, when he is going to maybe go for that single leg.
A touch of gloves there, both fighters acknowledging the kick that came and the duck that missed the kick.
And again, in the upright position at the moment, Antanas finds himself in a strange position. It's actually Tommy Maguire that is getting the better of these exchanges.
Now, I thought that Antanas would have thrown a lot more leg kicks. However, he may have felt uncomfortable with doing that, because every time the kick comes, big jumping knee, just missing the mark. Now he finds himself on the back. Tommy will want to look to pass that, get into that side mount position and work some ground and pound. He's very effective at that, always looking for what is a staple in the Maguire household, that crucifix position into ground and pound.
Well, I was just about to say for Antanas, when he said about the jumping knee, that the next move with Tommy in that southpaw stance was the feint and then the right high roundhouse to go over the left hand, because the left hand with a southpaw is normally cocked for the big shot. You can come above it. Instead, he chose the knee, and that's why he's in this position. Not that I'm saying if he'd have chosen the kick, he would have landed cleanly, but it's another option when you're against a southpaw like that.
Surprisingly enough, talking about Two Guns kick, he's been doing Muay Thai with Crew Den out of Kettering, Muay Thai kickboxing, Thai boxing. Guillotine attempt, Jazbutis jumps over the legs, finds himself in the side mount position. Tommy looking to post and get back up to his feet. However, Jazbutis has both legs locked together, preventing him from doing that.
Jazbutis, he's very methodical, isn't he? His face never changes, his expression never changes, and he fights at a certain pace that he seems comfortable with, and it's hard to get him out of that rhythm.
Sometimes when you want him to react, very much so, he stays at that one plodding pace. He plateaus. Sometimes you need that ebb and the flow, like you said, Malcolm, to create positions or spots that you could throw kicks and, capitalize.
But look at him here. He knows exactly what he's doing. Tommy is working really hard for position, and Jazbutis, he still looks like he's in that pace. He's happy, he's calm. That shows his experience, but it's his mentality as well that we've seen in so many fights.
Now that was a beautiful back elbow over his own back. I mean, literally, he spun in and he almost caught that.
And he's saying now to the referee, and Tommy stopping to listen, to say that he took a groin shot this time. That's a sporting encounter. But again, we're coming down to that's close. Now, I think that was a bit of tit for tat from Jazbutis there. We're coming into the last 10 seconds. It's a very hard one to call, Pierre. It's a difficult fight.
Well, I'm going to jump off the fence and I'm going to put it in Tommy's. I'm going to put it in Tommy's corner. I think he did enough. For me, he took the second round. I don't know. First round, what do you think? Think it's up in the air?
Up in the air the first round. I'd go with you on the second round. Antanas had his moments again, but for me, what let him down was the things he normally has successes with, Tommy matched and countered, and I think that could be the difference between the two in this round.
And Tommy's doing that very well tonight, working off the counter punches, countering off of Jazbutis' kicks as well as his punches. Now, Saying that, Jazbutis had a beautiful elbow. Tommy had one side wrapped up with the whizzer, and the opposite arm, actually, he rotated behind him to throw that elbow. And if that would have connected, that would have been on the highlight reels forever. But, again, it didn't land, so now we found ourselves here, moving on to the next round.
Right, so here we go, third and final round, and possibly still everything to fight for. We've got Tommy ahead against Antanas, but as I said, Antanas is a dangerous opponent, and the judges might be seeing it differently, but I still think there's so much more in these last 5 minutes for the taking, and this is where I'd like to see Antanas get out of that comfort zone and really go for it.
For me, both guys from the corners, you never want to think you're ahead because you might be eating crow at the end of the third round. I will tell my fighter, look, you need to go out there. We could possibly be losing this. We need this last round. You want that output. You want that work rate, and you don't. Big leg kick there by Jazbutis.
It's the second one, Pierre, and it's the first time in the fight. And I said this in his previous fight. They're good, they're strong. I'd like to see him start working his man a lot earlier in a fight.
Well, not only that, you want to work on the mobility of Tommy Maguire, because that mobility is what's setting up the, a cut there by Jazbutis. I don't know if that was off the punch, but sometimes with the creases of the gloves, you can cut somebody very easily.
It's by the ear, so it's certainly not a danger to his vision or his fighting. But Antanas has stepped up the pace in this round. You can see it, he's snappier, his punches are snappier. As I said, he's taken the Maguire lead leg with his kicks, and not for no other reason than to see a good fight. You wonder why he doesn't do this earlier. Oh, nice shovel uppercut by Maguire, though, to the midsection.
Now that was in response to that running leg kick that Jazbutis, and it sounded throughout the Wembley arena.
Yes, Jazbutis has picked up the pace most definitely. Maguire, though, still accurate. Good shot choice from him as well. And that left hand coming through, the danger. Oh, and there's the trademark Jazbutis kick. We've seen it land before, it didn't quite there. And you can hear the corner there saying to Antanas, you must go forward. And he's capable of it. It's frustrating sometimes watching him.
When you know the skill level of somebody and they're not doing what their potential is, from a cornerman standpoint, a coach's standpoint, yes, that is very frustrating.
And again, Tommy, like in the second round, is quite happy to stand for large portions of this fight and trade. And you almost feel it's until he feels the exact right moment for the takedown. Oh, two beautiful hooks, right and left to the body from Maguire.
Maguire has been really effective with throwing those body shots. And again, big knee. That's the third knee that he's thrown today. Unfortunately, it hasn't connected, but I tell you what, he's throwing those with mean intentions.
Yes, and an effortless kick there from Maguire. You don't often see it, but it landed to the head of Jazbutis. That's quite a nasty cut by the side of Jazbutis' head. Luckily for him, if you can be lucky with a cut, it's right on the side of the head, so it won't affect the vision at all.
Now, Tommy Two Guns has been throwing left-right hooks. I'd like to see him maybe double up on one side, trying to catch it to the body, and then go over top to the head, catch maybe Jazbutis sleeping.
And it's Jazbutis, for the first time in the fight, tries for the single leg.
Here in the third, I think Tommy Two Guns has been the more aggressive fighter, well, at least the higher work rate fighter. He's done a lot of countering. And again, this is a very technical bout, which again can be frustrating sometimes, but saying that, we've seen some very, very good techniques by both fighters.
Yes, and Maguire's had some sweet boxing, especially to the midsection of Jazbutis. For me, Jazbutis, there was so much more in there. We saw a glimpse of what he's capable of in the third, working Maguire's leg early. And you just think, why doesn't he start this earlier?
Now with 1:15 left to go, I want to see more output by both of these guys, because it may come down to the wire. The last impression that you leave on a judge's mind might be within that last round, that last minute to 30 seconds.
That's right. Both men are certainly fit enough, but this really isn't letting the judges decide either way at the moment. We had some exciting times earlier in this round when they're in the middle of the cage. And I know Mark Woodard's looking at them now and thinking, but it's Maguire that pushes free. And he said something to the referee. I think a bit of dirty boxing going on in the inside there as well. I don't think Antanas is frightened to rough it up a little bit. We saw that.
Good slip there by Tommy. Head kick again. Partially blocked by Jazbutis.
And we're inside the last 30 now. And again, I think it's important to note that it's Maguire that's taken centre cage, forcing his man back. And I think when the dust settles on this fight, this is why Maguire, I think, is going to take the win. And there's the icing for you. Yeah.
I think that, talking about the lasting impression, big double leg slam, he ends up the aggressor in the partial butterfly guard of Jazbutis, and I think he's done enough to walk away with the win.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, will you please show your appreciation for both of our professional sportsmen in the ring. After 3 5-minute rounds of MMA, we go to the judges at ringside who return a unanimous verdict. Judge Sully Mahmood has the contest 30-27. Judge Andy Roberts has the contest 30-11. And also Garth Harriman has the contest 30-27, all scoring in favour of our winner. From the red corner, Tommy 2 Guns